What's up, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of Stocks to Watch. And today, Modi 3.0 cabinet was announced. Not a lot of changes because I think the earlier ministers were keeping the same ministries. I think only there are a few ministers who did not really get a cabinet, probably because they lost their seats. But apart from that, I think there are a few additions and there are a few changes with respect to the cabinet. So let's have a look at that because I think that is going to impact the markets. Now, there was a rumor that Amit Shah is becoming the finance minister, but that's not happening. Nirmala Sitharaman retains the finance ministry because this is the ministry that the market was really caring about. And anything that would have happened with respect to this, this portfolio being given to someone else, the market would have reacted. But since Nirmala Sitharaman is again going to being the cabinet minister, being the minister of finance, I think the markets are not going to really react a lot. But any which ways, so there are these key portfolios of the Modi government. The biggest change, I think, is Manohar Lal Khattar being the urban development and power minister. Now the power minister has changed, so power stocks could probably have something. Apart from that, I think civil aviation, K. Naidu from the TDP, I think he's probably going to be another big change. JP Nadda is now the health minister, and today only I was reading Kotak Daily research report where the Indian hospitals, private hospitals, are expected to add 5 times more bed capacity than they did in the last 10 years combined. So keep these hospital stocks and these hospitality stocks, healthcare, Medicare stocks on your radar. Apart from that, no big changes and nothing big that would actually impact the markets. Now, coming and talking about the markets, I think let's start off with Nifty. Nifty is probably trading at its all-time high, near its all-time high. Today, it made a record high as well. But the closing wasn't really very convincing. It is reacting from that area of supply, very, very fragile area. This is now going to be a stock-specific market. Indices are probably going to take a hit. So Nifty, definitely not at all at a comfortable position to go long. If I talk about Bank Nifty, Mid-Cap Nifty and any other index right now, I think Bank Nifty still has some room to move towards the area of supply, but I think supply is overboard. So I'm really not interested in trading the index at the moment. Probably on the short side, maybe for a scalp, maybe for a short-term trade, but otherwise, I'm going to be focusing on individual names. So let's get started with that. So the first one on the list is Dornier. Now, Dornier Industries, Rupa, all of these peers in the lingerie and the undergarment industry, I think all of them started to spike up today. Even I think Lux did a very good spike. So I think all of them have started to form a base. This is the base that Dornier formed. Today, Dornier started to move with great volumes. And probably this could be an interesting stock that kind of keeps moving for the rest of the upcoming few weeks as well. Next up, we've got Orion Pro, and this is also forming a base. Interesting, but the only problem is there is a lot of supply at the top, so not really the best one. Next up, we've got BEML Land Assets Limited. Very, very nice, tight little base with a volume dry up. Very, very interesting one to watch out for. Next up is Jindal Photo, and I think probably this one is one of the favorites from the list. Very, very nice base. The stock has been an outperformer, now has probably completed its pacing phase. Now, even if I add the 20-period EMA, stock is now contracting near the EMA. So I think everything is kind of setting up for Jindal Photos. I think this is a really, really good name. Another one is Ramco Industries. Although supply is a problem, but the base is really nice. So it's going to be interesting to see on how this one reacts. REC Limited, I think what it's done is on a smaller time frame, this is kind of trying to make a VCP. I personally feel that since the power ministry has been changed, power stocks like REC, PFC, NTPC, Torrent Power, not of these other power names, I think they could start reacting. But there is a possibility of it going to this supply. So again, this is one of the key Modi group stocks in terms of the core Modi portfolio. So we could see some action on this one. Fine Organics, another specialty chemical name, very, very nice base. I think really, really interesting to see on how this one reacts from here. Sumitomo Chemicals, another chemical name, preparing for a base breakout. So again, this is also an interesting one that I would want to watch with the volume dry up. HG Infra doing similar things in terms of, contracting and making like a nice contraction base over here. This could also do really well. But this is a little stretch, so I'm really not very confident with this one. Sarla Performance, another stock making a base after a breakout and a retest, could be an interesting one to watch. We've also got Strides Pharma after the shakeout tapping into the order block is now prepared to make a fresh high. Now, mind you, all these pharma stocks have been doing really well. So I think these healthcare and pharma stocks could probably be on our watch list and on our radar for some time more. Next up, we've got TCI Express, which is another logistic and transportation, air freight couriers kind of a category, making a base around the order block, has not performed really well because of poor earnings. Very, very nice base. I think this has the potential to become like a good positional trade. So if someone wants to do like a low risk reward game, a high risk reward, low risk probably play, a 10% stop loss in TCI Express from the current market price could probably yield a 40-50% gain, provided everything sets up. Again, this is not an advice, this is a disclaimer. This is what I think. The base is really nice. Orient Electric, another name with a very nice base. I think this is also going to be interesting to see. The volumes have been drying up and have slowly been increasing. This is an interesting name. Rolex Rings, again, another one. I'll just remove all the text. So Rolex Rings, again, after this big squeeze, and I hope you guys remember, we caught this entire squeeze with the community members. I think this is also kind of getting set up on a smaller time frame to kind of make a base and then start moving higher. So this is also an interesting one. Again, not something like Jindal Photo, because this is like probably the best in the lot. Next up, we've got Sundaram Finance. Again, a nice tight base. There is supply overhead. But I think with respect to all the other financial stocks, I think this could also do really well. LG Equipment, another OEM name. I think this is also setting up from a short-term base perspective. So if you look at the 15-minute time frame, the stock has been basing out and has been contracting really nicely. So you can really see the kind of contraction that this stock is doing. So probably there is a potential for this to squeeze higher like this. So again, this is an interesting one. HAL, Hindustan Aeronautics, after a bounce, from this area of demand, this is also setting up into a base consolidation. Very interesting to see. IEX is something that has caught my eye because of encouraging numbers, which are their operational performance metrics. I think IEX could be one stock to watch out for. I think they've done its shakeout. It has done its basing, and it has been basing for a long period of time. So if you really look at this, this is like a good big base. So I think I'm going to be interested to track this one as well. Endurance, again, could be ready to continue its good bull run. The stock moved really nicely, and post that now it is basing very tightly, and I think probably this could spike again. Shriram Finance is another name which we will be keeping on track, just like Sundaram Finance. Sejal Limited, another name with a very nice tight base. This also looks really decent. I think this could have some action. Campus Activewear, after a big spike on, post the next earnings day on 29th May, I think Campus Activewear is ready to start moving higher. This is also really interesting. We've got Ipca Laboratories, another pharma name, tapping in from the order block and then creating a nice little base. This is also interesting. The only problem is this has to kind of trade near the highs for this trade to work out exactly as per our expectation. HEG, similar story, I think on the hourly, making a nice base over its supply, but we'll have to see on how this one plays out. Next up, we've got GIC Housing Finance, another interesting name with a base. Now, mind you, we're only focusing on stocks that are creating nice bases because it is a stock-specific market. Now, Sheetal Cool Products, very, very nice big base. Volatility has increased over here, so I think this is also going to be interesting with the volume dry up. Umang Dairy, another name which I really like because of the bigger term structure that the stock has created. We have seen after Andhra Pradesh, after Mr. Naidu came back to power, we've seen Heritage Foods, we've seen all the dairy stocks and all the other Andhra stocks do really well. Umang Dairy is probably from North India, but I think with the sentimental gain towards the poultry and the dairy stocks, I think this one could do well. Last but not the least, we've got Almonds, Global Securities. Now, this has been into an upper circuit, locked into an upper circuit, and again creating a nice little base. So all of these names, I think, have been performing really well, and the structure is set up so nice that probably we can expect some outperformance in these stocks tomorrow as well. Remember, this is going to be a stock-specific market. Do not really get involved with a lot of indices, and this is probably a market for mid caps, small caps, and micro caps. So that's it from my side. If you liked the episode, make sure to subscribe to the channel, hit the like button, and drop a comment which one of these is your favorite setup. Thank you so much for tuning in. I'll see you in the next episode. Thank you, take care, and all the best.